Hi, Professor Peyton. This is Jacob Head. I'm a violinist. I've lived right here in Louisville all of my life, actually in this house all of my life. Um, this is actually my fourth year at the university. I got into the program, the music therapy program, that is, after my second year. I started out there just knowing that I wanted to do music. I came straight from high school just knowing that that's all I could see myself doing. And the education field, I started out as an ed major, seemed like one that was, a decent path. And I still enjoy some aspects of teaching. I enjoy allowing people to understand music somewhat like I do, because I think it's a very enriching experience no matter what aspects of music you're involved in. But I also knew that it took a special person to be a music a music teacher, and I didn't really feel that I had that passion. I didn't feel that I had that patience, that classroom management, all the things that are involved in being a music educator. Around that same time, although I had grown up in the church playing music all my life, I was actually started leading worship at my church. Our worship leader at the time had to move away, and so I went from playing violin at every service to playing the guitar and leading the songs. And that, along with an experience I had at an assisted living facility, my preacher and I would go down there and we would lead the chapel house service together. We still do every now and then when I'm not too busy on Sunday afternoons. But just seeing in both of those experiences how people were affected by my music, especially the violin, because it is such an instrument that provokes emotions in people. And then Brother Dave and I just have a great chemistry as musicians. He can just start playing a song and I'll pick up on it, and we'll just go from there. And I think people can feel that energy, and it's really something that is rewarding, not just to be able to perform, but to be able to listen to the reception that I get from them as they tell me stories about memories that it brings back, or have requests for what pieces or songs that they enjoy hearing. And I don't always know them, because they know a lot more hymns than I do, because it goes back a lot farther in their memory than mine. But I think that kind of opened the door for thoughts that, okay, this music education thing isn't working out, where maybe perhaps music therapy is a field that I should look into. And it wasn't something that I knew much about until I talked to Dr. Wheeler, who was I guess the head of the therapy department of U of L at the time. It was during her last semester. And I kind of understood I knew it was more than obviously just a religious population or an elderly population. And of course I've learned a lot more through these past 2 semesters being in the program. But I really felt like I should continue to give it a chance and continue to learn, and I'm really glad that I have, because I've still had those experiences with the religious kind of things with the believers around me, and those experiences in my faith. But I've also discovered so many different populations, so many unique populations. One in particular that I'm very interested in is the autistic population, and seeing how individuals who are so closed off to other aspects of society can be so turned on and aroused by music. And it's great to see how individuals with autism react to music. And so I'm very interested in that. Not to say that I'm not interested in elderlies and hospital settings and that sort of thing, because I am as well. I think right now I'm just sort of experimenting to see what I really enjoy. So along with that, I do enjoy other aspects of music besides just the therapeutic aspect, but I find that as a performer, in a performance setting, because I really do enjoy that too. I feel very comfortable as a performer. Music is not... performance is pointless without having some sort of purpose behind it. For example, one of my huge passions is my string quartet that I formed when I first came to U of L. We started off doing some Christmas arrangements that I had arranged over the summer. And then we went from there. The next spring we played some more popular tunes. And I always wanted to arrange pieces that people would enjoy. Because I know what I enjoy, but I had to think of variety. I had to think of styles and genres that were on opposite ends of the spectrum, things you wouldn't normally hear from a string quartet that would catch people's attention. Because as much as we do have beautiful pieces for string quartet, there's so much more out there that can be arranged, for like Journey's Don't Stop Believing, or Lady Gaga, or The Temptations' My Girl, just things that people wouldn't expect. And I found that the effect that our performance as a group has is just phenomenal on people. I enjoy that, and I think all performances should be like that. They should have an effect on an audience. Even though, of course, I don't expect people to understand music like I do all the time. But that's just something else that I enjoy. One thing as far as arranging and composing goes, I really feel like that I have another passion for that, which can be very useful in music therapy. I've actually written several Christian songs that I feel... When you write something from your own heart, sometimes it's easier to say that it describes you. I've written two, in particular, Always Trust You and All For You, that I feel are very important to me as far as my faith goes as a Christian, as a believer, that if we put our faith and our trust in Him, it's going to be okay because His will is perfect. It's very, very hard to do. It's easy to sing, easy to tell other people, but when you try to take it and apply it to your own life, it's much more difficult. Easier said than done, right? So, and then of course, All For You is sort of the same thing, putting Him at the center of everything. And I continue to strive to do that in my music therapy. I know every client that I get, of course, will not share the same beliefs that I have, but I feel that going and being Christ to others and shining your light and helping people out through music is enough. And if it doesn't work, then I leave the rest up to God and put that in His hands. So I think those are kind of, I have so many favorite songs, but I think you always have to go back to what you've written out of your own heart. There's no way that can't apply to you. As far as movies go, I love Bruce Almighty. I love The Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy. I just saw The Avengers over the summer. They're all great films, but I think one that's really impacted me as of recently is the movie Brave, and how the main character changes her destiny and then tries to change her destiny and then ends up exactly back where she was started in the first place, after going through this big dramatic whole bunch of trouble. And what I really love is the very last line in the movie that says something along the lines of, "Our destiny is inside of all of us. We just have to be brave enough to see it." And that's what I'm striving to do right now. I know that I still have a long way to go as a musician. I'm 21 years old, and as much as I want to, have the privileges and the I guess, fame. Everybody would, love to be famous, but that's not what my purpose is in life. My purpose is to go at God's pace and to be where I need to be to help other people out. And I'm eager to get out there in the music therapy world, but I'm in no rush. I want my skills to mature and develop into where I can be the music therapist that I want to be, the musician, the performer, and someone who can use music to better my experiences and interactions with those out there. So I believe I've covered everything. As far as most memorable moment, that goes along with what I was talking about in a therapeutic type of situation down at the Friendship House and with the elderly. So I believe that's it. But now I gotta figure out how to upload this thing. So thanks.